If I had a banana, how would you sell it to me?
The lack of opportunities in the community is harming us. Nobody knows what they want to do, and then like you just wasting efforts trying to do this and this and this and just make your own money. But are you putting your mind towards what you really want to do? Is the thing.
You had $10 and you were to start a business, what would you do and how would it benefit the community?
Having the ability to do something, it really motivates me to want to do it more, especially with controlling my anxiety. Baking has been like a godsend, but now it just makes me fat, so it's like
This is the first ever AMOR podcast interview, whatever you want to call it. Who am I here with?
hi guys, my name is Jamia. I'm here against my will, and yeah.
Okay, perfect. Nice to meet you, Jamia. I forgot my introduction. My name is Elijah St. Fleur. I am the owner of AMOR to Share Services. We are a marketing agency. We help businesses expand, grow. We provide creative directing for any videos you want to create if you want to build or advertise your own company. So right now we are here with Jamia and we're going to ask her a couple questions, her opinion about overall business dynamics, her opinion on what type of businesses she may want in her community. We will also ask her different questions about her own personal opinions about what she may want to do for her future or what type of environment she may want to work in. So Jamia, my first question is, if I had a banana, how would you sell it to me?
If I had a banana in my hand right now, and I had to sell it to you, how I would verbalize the selling of is this banana ripe or is it like unripe? Like, give me some context.
A regular yellow banana.
Okay. All right. Hi, how are you doing today, sir?
How you
Great. Are you hungry?
doing? Just a little bit.
Great. Can I introduce a snack to you?
Introduce a snack.
Yeah.
First time I heard that.
Yeah. So this is what we call a banana. This is a nice fruit. As you can see, the yellow skin, don't be alarmed by it. It peels back. A lot of potassium in this fruit. A lot of, like, it's healthy for you, You should give it a try.
All right. Anyways, something I did think about recently is when I think about each presidency, I always want to think about what type of business that are within our community that could help really make it strive. Like, I imagine in the future for me to create a type of hub or a space where people could come in and they can educate themselves about entrepreneurship and they could go about the community and actually help it expand. We know about different topics like gentrification. We know about people coming to our neighborhoods that don't necessarily look like us. I want to eventually have my own space where I could also do like different types of like rooms of education. So if you want to learn about business, about like what I do, marketing, or if you want to do stuff learning about real estate, or even a med spa, shout out to BU Aesthetics for giving us a space. I want to have that. So what type of business do you think you want involved within your own community to help it expand or thrive?
Well, I mean, in my community, so I'm in like a nice little hub. So like Utica is full of like a lot of small businesses and a lot of main corporations. For right now, the part that I live in is like a lot of smaller food stores that's been opening up. So there's been like a coffee shop open up, one of the whatchamacallit, the teriyaki ones, another one of them just opened up, a taco place just opened up. But I mean, I feel like it's more just food that's opening. I'd like to see more clothing stores or more like thrift or antique stores. Those are stuff that I'm interested in or would see. There is a couple here and there, but I feel like they're underlooked because of the lack of, I don't want to go in there. It doesn't look interesting. I feel like certain things don't really appeal in my community. So I feel like if more things were to come in, like more appealing things, like not really appealing, but like good things. Like there's not a lot of good stuff in Utica right now. So it's just like the same store twice over. Like the nail salon, one there, one there, one there. Same hair salon, one there, one there, one there. It's like reused in everything, you know? Like nothing original. It's kind of disheartening to see like when you go downtown, you see like all these cool stuff. Like you see like paint stores, and you see um like for example, the paint and sip stores. You see a lot of them downtown. There's none like on the Utica Strip or going down Utica or anything. Or, you know, they're building like a lot of banks now, but I mean, that's kind of necessary, but it's not something really people are going to go for, you know? Like I want more interesting things, more things that can cater towards me and my attention. It's kind of like vague to express, yeah, but you know, it's the lack of that I can't even explain it to.
So I do understand that there is a lack of diversity when it comes to your community, and I think a majority of that may be due to education. I know, since we both came from the same school, we went to Claire Barton High School. um, there wasn't that much adversity when it comes to business. I mean, they did have their own little setup where they would do speaker series and get people from different companies. I remember like Goodco, it was a bicycle company. They came in and they presented themselves. You know, I love that type of environment, but I think if we start expanding that more towards younger environments like elementaries or middle schools, we could now help our younger generation be more educated on, you know, what is out there, or even how to run a successful business.
More of the recent times, Barton has been developing more in terms of like with student interests. So they have had a couple of pop-up shops where they have like, so for example, when I was graduating, I had a gardening club and I had an art club that I was running. When I came back, I think last year or the year before that, they had like a bunch of pop-up shops. So they were teaching girls how to do hair, or they had like the little barbershop club and everything. They had a nail club, they had lashes, like they were teaching like these little things here and there. And I think even down to like now, they're bringing in people to like talk about their come up and how they started getting into it and how they developed their brand and stuff. So I feel like in more recent days that, yeah, Barton is expanding in terms of teaching more to broaden, you know, instead of just teaching like, oh, you're gonna learn about economics that you're not gonna use in like the coming years. I feel like that's the big thing with like schools and everything. It's like they don't understand where we want to go with our lives. Like we don't either, but I'd rather have like the capability or the ability to experience other things and see what I want to do, rather than just wait until I get to college and then try and figure it out, because that ain't going well at all.
So I completely understand that, because while I was in high school, being in the LPM program and then getting dropped, after that it was after that I felt like I was cooked. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Even for college, I didn't know much about picking for college. I just thought, hey, this is going to be, I was going to graduate with my license and then I was going to work as a nurse. But after that, it was over. And that is when I started my first business, which is AMOR. And at that time, it was a clothing brand. And through that vision, I kind of realized I feel like this was me. You know, I wanted to really expand on this idea. I really want to grow a brand that represented myself. From there, after graduating and then going to Rowan University, while I was in Jersey, it was a new type of environment. I was with people that didn't look like me. I wasn't with ghetto people. I was people that are highly educated and knew about businesses and LLCs and corporations, and I had no idea what that was at first. So what I had to do, I had to adapt. So with that being said, that's when I expanded on more, and I wanted to be a marketing agency because that is a type of business that I can expand on. And instead of providing a product where I have to worry about um, storage or selling and stuff like that, I could use my skills to help people grow and branch out and reach out to different people that don't even know about their business. So I really love that idea of helping others expand. So now that I'm here, I I think that, like you said, I love that Barton did expand more on having different types of clubs and you know doing the
They've been doing like a lot of with the job fairs. Like when I was still working at Prospect, me and my previous supervisor became. We talked about um, working with the team program that is offered out there, and expanding on how you can even like jump towards it. Like how when I was doing it, I wanted to do botany after that. Lord knows it didn't work out, but you know, it's always something for someone. Like you never think about these things that are available to you because they're never really available. You know.
yeah, that is very true. I'm glad that they did expand on that once again. For me, I feel like part of that was my fault because I was a bum in high school. Um, I was one of those kids that was purposely late for classes, worrying about girls, all that other stuff. But I really love the idea of bringing out job fairs, showing about different careers. Because for me, growing in a Caribbean household, all I knew was grow up, become a doctor and lawyer, and that's it. Doctor, lawyer, nurse, and and that's it. I actually did not even know what a outside career like becoming an electrician, a plumber. I didn't even know about those stuff until I reached college. Um, and after that, I realized I made the wrong decision. But you know, to each your own. Yeah, exactly. It's never too late to switch to that or become an electrician. I feel like as long as you educate yourself and you are financially responsible, you could you know get anywhere you want to be.
My boyfriend went to like Lincoln Tech for electrical, and he's worked as an electrician, but it's not necessarily his passion. What he wants to do is he wants to start his own business. He wants to get his LLC and develop his own brand. And I mean that's a good thing. Like he didn't know what he wanted to do out of college, and he had that little electrical route, but he's using it to work towards another thing. Like I feel like being educated in these things is also important, but you have to know that having a passion, if you really want to go for it, you can go for it. Like it's always fine if you want to treat it as a backup plan or something in the back pocket if you want to like go for something more stable at first. But people don't know that there's other things for them. Like for me, I was so worried about when I was doing at CCNY, when I was doing Earth and Environmental System Science, how it wasn't going to work out the way I wanted to. I dropped out. I applied for my ophthalmic dispensing program at City Tech. And even now, I'm thinking, dang, I'm passionate about this, but I also want to do botany. But hold on, I also want to do something with baking. It's like you can have these ideas, you can put them forward. It's like, the motivation needs to be there, yeah, but like I just feel like it's not something broadly shown to like a lot of like kids our age. Oh, God, adults, not kids, adults our age. Like we always feel like, dang, I gotta go to college and then I gotta do this and then I gotta get my life straight and that is it. You know, the lack of opportunities in the community is harming us. Nobody knows what they want to do, and then like you just wasting efforts trying to do this and this and this and just make your own money, but are you putting your mind towards what you really want to do is the thing.
That is very true. Passion is a huge topic, and I believe that passion comes from your surroundings as well. if we aren't exposed to greatness, it'll be very difficult for us to derive from there. It's kind of like a rose growing from the concrete. I feel like being surrounded by your environment most definitely helps. Um, for me, my mom's a business owner. She is one of my greatest inspirations. Just being in this room itself, it it shows to me that it is possible. And my mom, she didn't grow up knowing about businesses. It was just one opportunity, and my mom's extremely smart. She took that idea and she expanded it, and then that led into Jamaica Soldier Services, um, and now it led her to real estate and then BU Aesthetics. So this that in itself helped me realize that it is possible. You know, um, not only that, but a little fun question for you now is, after discussing about the types of things that we want for community or opportunity and passion, you know if you had $10 and you were to start a business, yes, just $10, and you were to start a business, what would you do, and how would it benefit the community?
I don't know what you think I can do with $10 in this day and age. $10 can't even get me a good meal. I mean, what's the most common thing you can do in this community anyways? Reselling. Yeah, reselling. Buy something cheaper. Probably with the $10, buy 10 products $1 each. Sell it back $3 each. What was that? How much of a profit is that? Do the math. I didn't come here to think. Do the math. $30. Took too long. I hope I'm right. You said I had $10. And each item was $1. So I bought 10 of them. Raised the price for 3, resold them. That's $30. But $20 back in profit. Yeah, right. Good point. Nonetheless, reselling is it's a lucrative kind of thing, but it's also kind of like a little stop taking all the good stuff in the thrift store. Exactly. Stop taking it. I don't want to spend $500 on something I should have got for $10.99 plus tax.
I love that you gave the idea of reselling. The $10 question is something I received from my mentor when I was at Rowan University, and the trick is that you don't have to use the $10 to start a business. So here's a quick little thing. I mentioned beginning that when I started AMOR the first time, I had to deal with products, and I was exactly, so I had to spend money to make money, which is normally how business goes. However, with my marketing agency, I don't have to spend anything to start it. I just provide a service that I am good at, and after that, I offer it to different people. I can start it off with freelancing, doing it myself, and later on I expand, building a team, and then you may have to spend a little money because you got to pay people. You didn't hear that from me. So yes, starting a service-based business is, in my opinion, the best way to start off with. And if you don't got skills, you could go online and get certificates to accredit yourself. You could do stuff for free to gain experience as well, which is what I started off with. And yeah, and how I would do that to help my community is basically what I'm doing right now. I would start off by, bringing in people, educating them, helping expand their thinking, and even help them start off businesses. Like, I know you said your boyfriend, you want to get an LLC. I can most definitely help him out with that. I have an LLC for more. If he needs help with legal stuff too, I can most definitely help out with that, because there's a lot. And if you don't submit your taxes, they gonna get you. So now that we came to that conclusion, I want to ask you, what is something you'd like to see more at the job or workplace that you currently work at?
So essentially, working as an optician means that you're fitting patients with glasses, you're fixing the glasses, you're talking about different treatments, you're working with like different materials, lens materials, and different like tints and everything. So it's a lot that's going into it. And I feel the one thing that I don't see a lot is one, the work itself, the job itself being advertised, and then two, a lot of black people in that industry. So in my opinion, there's always going to be a lack of diversity in certain jobs, but it's just like the lack of in general, because I didn't even know that this was in a job until I talked with my dad, who worked in the 90s as an optician. So it's like, I would love to see more like black opticians, but I'd like to see more black people in industries that we don't hear about a lot anyways. Like you don't hear about a lot of black gardeners or like a lot of black florists. You don't hear a lot about, black shoemakers anymore, or shoemakers in general. You don't hear about these things, and these are like businesses or jobs that you can go into that can provide a lot of money if you really think about it, because someone has to fix your shoes at some point if you up. Apologies. Someone has to tailor your sweater if you up. You don't hear a lot of people going into tailoring anymore. These are like things that more feel like family run at some point, but it's like these are skills that you can always apply and then put forward and start something with it,
There aren't a lot of people that, like you said, there's not that much tailors out, it's more family run. There isn't too much people that I can go fix my Jordan. I love my sneakers, right now I have the Frozen 4s on. I'm not gonna lift my legs to show you, but there isn't that much people that I can go to rely on to offer these services. Because if I were to think about it too, I think it one has to do with our generation and also the demand for these type of services as well. If my sweater or hoodie is ripped up, I'm most likely going to just get a new one. It doesn't make sense. Or if my shoes is messed up, then I'm going to get new shoes. I think back then those services were more there because we didn't necessarily have like exactly, or I think if we do have those services, I think they should be even advertised as luxury services, because majority of people, they'll probably do that for a wedding dress that they have, that they want tailored for, or a suit, stuff like that. I think that should be advertised as well. I think at the same time, when it comes to people of our color, I don't see much people of our color that do like art or painting or any type of creative work, painting is not for the weak. I used to do, well, I still kind of do a little bit, but I used to do artwork as well. I kind of expanded away from that, not necessarily because I let go of my creativity, but I want to apply creativity innovatively. What I basically mean by that is, if I were to be presented a problem, I want to be the person that can use that gift of creativity to come up with different types of solutions. I remember one time, I believe it was a friend of mine. I'm going to say her name is Jazzy for now, right? She had came to me and said her faucet was broken, and she owns a kitchen. Not kitchen. She owns a catering company, and her sink was broken. And how I was able to provide a solution is, and mind you, there was no maintenance on site. There was nobody there that she could call. So what I did is that I took, like, the old paper roll cartons, yeah, I was it was a temporary solution, right? I used the paper roll cartons, not for toilet paper, like the towel paper, a big difference. like I said, I provided a creative solution.
You ain't thinking about getting no plumber's tape and just wrapping the pipe that way.
No, the way it was broken, it was like missing a piece of the thing, you know.
Home Depot sells pipes.
Man, it was like 8 p.m. You know, she had a big event the next day. So what I did is I got the plastic saran wrap. I put it in the middle of the pipe, right? And I put it in the inside of the paper, and I like shoved it in, and I put tape over it, and it worked. It worked just like that, you know. Of course, we had the little water cleaner filter things because we're not gonna give that water to people, you know. Plus, you just need to wash dishes temporarily, for now. But I was able to provide a creative solution, and through that idea, this is a little fun fact. I started a paper pipe service. So I created a product that is kind of like the metal pipes, but they're biodegradable, and it did not work. It did not work for many reasons.
Name a couple of them.
It did not work, but I love that idea. I love the fact that I was able to think of something on the spot to help her out. I believe, right, that creativity comes from two things, right? It comes from experience, and it comes from mental health, right? I would say influence too. However, I believe anybody could be creative, you know, no matter who you are. I've seen people that know nothing but books and codes and stuff like that, but they were able to make extravagant art pieces, you know. So I believe that mental health and your experience, your overall life experience, does add into your creativity as well. So if you were to think about a time where you may have been going through something difficult, you know, how have you creatively found a way to express yourself, or at least display it in a healthy way?
So another thing with what I like doing outside of like the whole opticianry thing is baking, and that's also something that my dad's been trying to like turn into a business for me because I use it for an anxiety reliever, more so because it's something that you're in control of. You have all the ingredients that you're picking out, you're putting something together in your specific way, and you're manipulating it to your desired outcome. That's essentially all baking is, making something the way you want it. So it's really calming when I can, well, unfortunately, have to spend my money to buy all the ingredients and products to do it. But it's something that allows me to feel in control and feel at my most creative. Like, there was this cake I made for a coworker's birthday recently. It was like a strawberry cake with some buttercream frosting, and I decorated it real nice. I did sliced strawberries and everything, did it like a little cute presentation. I also made the little crunch on the strawberry shortcake bars. So I made that from scratch. Yeah, it's fun. It's real nice to do. You do it with some Oreos and some Jello, man, you can do a lot. But it's like having the ability to do something, it really like motivates me to want to do it more, you know? So I feel like, especially with controlling my anxiety, baking has been like a godsend. But now it just makes me fat, so it's like, you know, if my ankles and my thighs start to match, don't worry about it.
I won't say I don't see it a little bit, you know. Oh my goodness.
Hey.
Yes, you know, I love that. I love that you were able to find something, you know, healthy to take care of this. For me,
Healthy.
somewhat healthy,
I
you
make
know.
cakes every week. Healthy. I made cookies this morning.
That's true. She did text me saying that she was making some
Making a
cookies.
peach cobbler this Saturday.
Oh, okay, yeah. Not so healthy.
I made lemon cake like 3 days ago.
Anyways, right. Seems like we're gonna have to dive more into the mental health part. Yeah. So yeah, you found a creative way
Yeah.
to deal with your mental health, and I think that's amazing. You know, for me, it was working out. there was a time where I became like a super duper gym rat type of dude, you know. But it was because I was at a time where I also was dealing with anxiety, like terrible anxiety. It'll be times where even if I had to get out my car just to go home, you know, I'll get anxious for stepping outside for I don't know, you know. But working out, you know, just getting up, not thinking about anything else but, you know, pumping some weights, you know, it really did help me reduce that. Of course, I've been slacking off, you know, but that helps me. And what I also would want to ask you too is if you were to take that habit of yours, like baking, and putting it into a business, would you not allow, but would you further expand on how it may help your anxiety to promote it?
I mean, obviously, my dad's been like trying to get me to get into it or starting it up. I was thinking about opening up like a boba shop and doing like little pastries or little cakes on the side. Yeah, I know you would. Oh, big greedy ass. But you know, and I mean, I am an advocate for mental health, obviously, because I do have my own share of unfortunate things that I've dealt with. I do have BPD, so that does play a major effect in how I carry myself and how I may react to things in initials. So using how I relieve myself of, like my anxieties or like my issues that are troubling me, using baking and potentially using it to like open up my own spot would be really cool. And, obviously you would be there. God. But it'd be really nice to use something that I use to control how I feel about myself into gaining business and making money. That's kind of weird, making money off my anxiety.
So, with all that being said, right, after thinking about um, your message, your story, and the habit of creating and being in control, what would you name this business?
All right, not too much on that right now. I know what I'm gonna use, what name I'm gonna use. I'm not gonna use my name, obviously. My nah, Gemini. My boyfriend's family, they couldn't remember my name at first, so they always called me Gemini. So now it's stuck. So I like it. I like, hey, look at me. Tell me I don't look like a Gemini. Anyway, you know, Gemini's things. I'm not into the name thing right now. We're still working out the kinks. Haven't even thought about it much, but I have an idea of what I want to go with it.
Now that we're heading towards the end, can you tell us a little fun fact about you in general?
All right, 2 fun facts. 1, I can crack my shoulders. Hold the microphone right here. I want to make sure you get the sound. Right. Just bend it all the way in there. Yeah. Second fun fact, I have a moderate fear of butterflies. Stop looking at it's a normal fear to have. Many people suffer from it, and we should not be judged.
Butterflies, y'all. Butterflies. That's amazing. One fun fact about Gemini over here that I know is that she can actually sing. So, would you mind singing for the folks over here? Give a little tune for the people.
What tune do you want? I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't lubricate my throat. My tonsils are not adequately hydrated for this. I have not provided enough aquazization to my internal esophagi to. What song do you want? I'll just sing the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and black stripes. I don't remember the rest of the words.
Anyways, that was amazing. Clap it up for Jamia. Anyways, fun fact about me, I could sing too. Just a little bit better. Oh, say, can we see by the dawn's early light as the Alright, I need a little lubrication on my throat. Pause. You know, I'm a little shaky, but like Kendrick Lamar said, we're gonna be all right. So, back to the main segment. I like to end this off by once again saying thank you for popping out here. She really didn't have to, you know. You know, she's an amazing person. Been friends with her for a couple years now, a little too long, you know. Yeah, it's been a minute. So, with that being said, do you have any last final words to say to the people?
Don't get a credit card. We gonna start up with that. Fuck the credit card. Don't get a credit card at all. You're gonna waste your time and then you're gonna fuck it up. Don't get a credit card. College is not a scam if you know what you're going for, and don't go for no liberal arts. No offense, liberal art majors, but the coin. You're not getting the coin yet. Stop reselling stuff. Major point. Stop reselling these nice little pieces. I'm tired of wanting to go buy something and then I gotta see it online on eBay for like $600 and it should have been $12 in stores. You're not doing anybody a favor. And you're not gonna sell it. You know you're not gonna sell it. But all in all, if you have a passion, go with it. It might take some time to grow it, obviously. You can't grow a flower overnight. You know, it takes time, takes, attention, takes love, takes motivation. Do it how you want to do it. Live your best life. Ain't nobody can tell you otherwise. And if they do, they wrong.
Anyways, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you for tapping in, and we will see you on the next time.